What is up, everybody? This is Rain. Welcome back to another video on my channel. This is the 22nd episode of my monthly Talking with This Rain series, and this is also the very last episode of this series for 2021. We made it to another year. Congrats. But if you're new to this channel, right? And because I noticed that I got a few people here. Welcome, by the way. But if you're new here and you don't know what I'm doing, this is where I chill here, talk to you guys about stuff going on in my life, stuff going on YouTube. And then if I have time, I'll play some guitar. I probably will have time, but it's going to be in a separate clip, right? But this is where I chill out and talk to you guys. I talk about YouTube channel, talk about real life and all that stuff, okay? So I usually start these by talking about my YouTube channel, right? Because I'm posting this to my YouTube channel. Obviously, I'll talk about my YouTube channel first. So in the last month, I've posted one Phasmophobia video and two GeoGuessr videos. I'm taking a liking of GeoGuessr so far because it's really easy to make, like you just record and then you kind of get to flex your geography skills a little bit, even though my geography skills kind of fucking suck, as evidenced by my videos. But it's really fun, and I really like recording them, and they're really easy to record too. So I really like those. And then the Phasmophobia ones, they take quite a while to edit, which is why I don't upload that much of it. I still like playing it, but they take quite a while to edit, so I kind of hold off on those a little bit. I wait for a special day, when I actually want to record Phasmophobia videos. But that's really it for my YouTube channel. Pretty. Right, there's stuff playing in my computer. Oh, by the way, I'm recording this from my computer. This is the very first Talking with This Rain episode where I'm recording with my computer. All right, so if there's a distinct, increase or decrease in quality, you know why. Okay, recording this with my computer, and in the background is some Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay. That is kind of it's not the best gameplay because I recorded it on my PC, and if you're gonna watch this, you're gonna see what it's like to actually play Cyberpunk in my PC. We're gonna get to Cyberpunk later, alright? Because I did talk about it earlier, in a previous episode, but I'm still very much into that game, dude. But, this is some Cyberpunk gameplay. This is after I completed the game. So I'm just roaming around, just looking at stuff, alright? So don't expect that much combat because, and also don't expect, a very good FPS because, my FPS in this gameplay is not too good. I can't see the gameplay right now, but I would guess that it's not too good. But I like playing the game though. Despite the FPS stuff, I do like playing the game. But we'll get to that later, right? I'm gonna go dedicate a separate area for Cyberpunk because that game is, there's a new place in my heart for that game. That game is fucking awesome, dude. All right, but first let's talk about real life stuff, right? Because I usually talk about real life stuff after the YouTube channel. So, and since the last Talking with This Rain stuff, I think I already finished my semester, so I'm in summer right now for Australia because I live in Australia, and I'm taking a break, and man, I really hope people outside can't hear me, dude, because I'm hearing like a bunch of stuff outside. There's like somebody doing something out there. Hopefully people can't hear me from outside, but I've been taking a break. I noticed. Okay, so in the last month, I've attended two job interviews. One was in a city far away. That was a more legit thing. Well, I would have preferred to get accepted into that job, but it's all right. I didn't get that job, by the way, in the big city. But I went there. Oh God, what was I? Oh yeah, they were talking to me. I was getting interviewed, and they were talking to me, and they were gauging my. Honestly, I think they liked me. I think. You know what? I'm not even gonna say that. But they brought up my Excel skills, right? Because if you're gonna be an accountant, as I'm studying towards that. If you're gonna be an accountant, you need to be very well versed in Excel. And they brought it up. They're like, okay, but do you know some basic stuff about Excel? And I was like, yeah, I know formulas and stuff, but I didn't. That is extremely broad. So I think that really fucked me in that interview. So recently I started getting my Excel skills kind of up. I started learning VLOOKUPs and pivot tables because those are the two main basic stuff that the interviewers asked me. And I think I got a basic grasp of it. I mean, they're basically embedded in Excel, so it's pretty simple. It's not too over complicated to get it, but I think it's just a matter of, taking the time to learn it. And I took like an hour or so a couple of days ago to learn it, and I think I had the hang of it. Like the very basics of it, I think I got it, but I definitely need more real world practice with VLOOKUPs and pivot tables. But I'm getting there, And yeah, I talked about the interviews. I had another interview here, and I got the job. It's a summer position, so I'm happy with that. But the only downside for me, I'm happy with it, right? I mean, I don't know. I haven't started the job, so I'm not gonna make any final judgments on it. But okay. I don't think I've talked about this. Maybe I talked about this literally last year, literally exact same time. But I fucking hate admin jobs, dude. I literally hate admin jobs. And I think this one kind of is like they disguise it because when I applied for it, it was called vacation, right? Like it was a vacation intern student thing type thing. But when I looked at my pre-employment medical thing, it said admin something, and maybe it's just there as a placeholder, maybe. But I was not keen seeing that admin stuff on there, dude. Literally fuck admin. I hate doing admin, dude. But I hope it's not. But I got it, and the only downside, holy crap, I nearly. The only downside is the work hours for me. I've never worked more than 15, 20 hours a week. But this job is fucking 40 hours a week, dude. So this is like 8 hours technically with unpaid break, 9 hours of my day in this job every day, Monday to Friday. Some people might like it. I'm gonna be open with it. I'm not gonna make a judgment of it for now. But I'm just happy that I got this, and hopefully that I can adjust well to that nine to five grind because I do need some experience if I'm gonna be an accountant after this. This is one of those things where I remember bringing this up, I think in last month's Talking with This Rain or the month before that, where I was talking about, making short-term sacrifices so that long-term me can get set up, and this is one of those things. And hopefully that I don't fucking pussy out, dude. Hopefully I don't pussy out because I need this shit to be able to be successful in the field of accounting. And speaking of the field of accounting, I had a networking session with a guy from one of the big four firms. He was a nice guy, dude. Like, I expected, I was like really intimidated, dude, because I've never networked before. But and I think this guy was a manager in one of the big four firms. And in the big four, it goes associate. That's where you get hired, and then you become a senior associate, and I think after that is manager. And so this guy's a fucking manager. He has years on his belt in this big four. So I was kind of intimidated, right? I was like, okay, I, maybe this guy's gonna expect me to ask some high level questions. But he was pretty fucking chill, dude. I liked that. It felt like a conversation than something to be intimidated by. And I stuttered a lot, which is why I started these, why I still continue to do these, which is to make sure that I don't stutter a lot. And as you can see, I haven't done that much progress because I still stutter a lot. I think I actually stuttered a lot in that big job interview I had with this massive accounting thing. And I think that's probably one of the other reasons. Like, dude, I was so disappointed with myself, dude. Like, I came home from that interview and I was just so fucking disappointed. Like, I prepared for it, but I felt like I didn't say the stuff that I wanted to say. So I was just so fucking angry at myself after that job interview. But, I got a job here now, Hopefully, that's really what I'm fucking hoping, dude. I hope that I don't pussy out because right now, if I'm gonna be completely honest with myself, uh, I'm very intimidated by this because I've never worked 40-hour work weeks before. I've never worked 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or 8 to 6 before. You know, So I'm pretty intimidated by this, but hopefully, I don't pussy out. I'm gonna, yeah. I don't know. Is there like a point where I gotta just fucking man up, and tell myself right now, like where I'm recording right now, to just man the fuck up and stop pussying out on this shit, because I don't want to make conclusive statements, right? Because then I'll look fucking stupid. But then again, isn't that the point of making conclusive statements or predictive statements, like about yourself, to kind of hold yourself accountable? So, you know what? Unless, I get into some terrible shit, like, I don't know, getting assaulted in work or some dumb shit, I'm gonna stick with this job. I'm not gonna quit after some dumb shit, because I noticed it in my previous position. Like, I quit that position because, you know, I, I I expected myself to be good at it immediately, right? Like, I'm a fucking university student, and I expected myself to be good at the job immediately, and I'm not gonna force myself to immediately be perfect at this shit, because it's not the proper way to look at employment, right? Especially when you're just starting out. And I think that's the one of the main reasons why I quit that job. Like, and I had that cool, well, not really cool, but I had that long story about it last year. If you go to my playlists and go down to the Talking with Mrs. Rain playlist, and go down to, I think it's called Quitting Work or something like that, from last year, so probably around 12 to 11 episodes ago, because I do these monthly. You'll see it, and I have that quitting work, and that's what I'm talking about. But I expected a lot of myself there. I actually got the hang of it, but then they put me on the phone, and that's where I fucked up. Well, that's where it all went to shit, and I fucked up there. I don't know. Should I have stayed there? Because yeah, I should have stayed there actually. Like, in retrospect, I fucked up that one time with that one client. If just to recap, I like, this was an information that I was told from the start, but I got pressured. The person who was looking after me wasn't listening to the conversation, and I just made a judgment call, and it was a wrong call, and they told me that they left a bad review, and in a Monday morning, after I just woke up after doing some assignments and all that stuff, I was like extremely demoralized. But I don't know. Maybe I could have treated that a lot better, but like, in retrospect, it's easy to say that I should have just stayed there, just sucked it up. But I can't say, if I'm being cruelly honest with myself, I can't say that I would have been able to do that. Which is why it's easier to say that stuff in retrospect. But yeah, I'm hoping that this one is all right. I'm not gonna fucking pressure myself to do a bunch of. I'm not gonna pressure myself into doing the best I can here, because obviously I'm not going to, right? So yeah, God, 8 hours a day, 40 hours for a 40-hour week. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do that, dude. Like, how the fuck do I jump from 15 hours a week? 5 hours on every second day, right? To a full 40-hour week. I don't know how to do that, but good thing, the only thing I'm happy about is that there's an end date for it. Um, I'm scheduled to start. I don't know. I still have to do my medical, but I'm scheduled to start within probably next week at the time I'm recording this, which is the week before Christmas and the holidays, or the week after, or even after the Christmas holidays. So yeah, I'm trying to prepare myself. Like, how do you even prepare for this? Because I'm thinking, right? Like, they say that sometimes it goes from 8 to 5 or 9 to 6, and the person said it was a 40-hour work week. So for eight, that would mean, the person said 8 to 5, so that mean 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 9 hours minus one, because you have an unpaid lunch break. Wait, that person 8 to 5? I think that person said 8 to 4 or something like that. But that is a long ass time. So I've been thinking of just starting now, getting accustomed to that schedule. Like, for example, like when I wake up, like waking up at six o'clock, 6:30, and then getting on my exercising like I usually do. Except right now I exercise in the afternoon, but now I exercise in the morning. Right after I wake up, so that by the time I start work, I'm not shocked by the sudden change in schedule. You know, I'm thinking something like that, but I haven't really gotten to start to it. And yeah, I I'm just hoping that I don't pussy out on this shit. I'm spending a long time in this because with this because it's the one thing that's really fucking with me right now. Right? Like how am I gonna adjust to a 40-hour work week? Yeah, I mean people do it every day, right? So maybe it's just a matter of sticking with it, being consistent because I've heard from a friend and some stuff that you get used to it. So I'm banking on that. I'm hoping that I stick around with it. And it has an end date, so it's not obviously fucking forever, right? And I only have I only have something to gain by sticking with this shit. I get something to put on my resume. I get referees. I get money. And then yeah. So I'm just hoping that my coworkers are not are cool people. That's what I'm hoping, and that I don't fuck up that bad. But I'm gonna fuck up. So yeah, that's a horrible expectation to put on myself. My dog is in the background sighing right now. I think he's getting tired of this story. So I'm gonna go switch topics, right? I'm gonna go stick with this shit. Hopefully, I don't pussy out like I did last year. All right. You know what? I'm not gonna say hopefully. I'm not going to, okay? Because I need this shit, right? I can't just be studying a master's degree with nothing to show for it. So I need to stop doing it. You know. Plus, 8 hours a day or 9 hours a day if you count the unpaid break. 9 hours a day, right? You used to have a lot of time in the afternoon or in the evening because I heard, working in Big Four, what this is one of the stuff I talked about when I was talking to that person who works at the Big Four when I was networking with that person. I brought up the the work-life balance and the amount of hours that he has to work, and he says that it is one of the downsides of working there, but he was like he brought it back to how everybody does it, and the people that you work with are the same age as you, so they're going through the same thing. So in the Big Four, so I'm thinking to myself, if I can get through this internship, technically it's an internship, whatever I'm doing. If I can get through this, it's easy. It's only like fucking 10 weeks, dude. So I don't know why the fuck I'm worrying so much like I'm losing my fucking life. It's technically okay. Hold on. Let me look this up because I need to go back to the city. I need to go back to university in February. So let's say February 10. Days to February 10. Oh my god, I can't even spell February. Days to February 10. That's 64 days. 64 divided by 7. That's 9 weeks. Okay, 9 fucking weeks. I can do that, right? Like I literally went to school, left. I started school at 9, so that'd be 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's 6 hours a day. But still, it's 9 weeks of this shit, and then after that, I get to do whatever the fuck I do back in university. Hey, I'm hoping to set myself up financially with this thing because 40-hour weeks. I should rake in some money, so I'm thinking of setting myself up for this year, or for this year of study, because like at least cover all the groceries that I'm gonna be spending studying. So yeah, that's another thing that's motivating me, right? But that also means that I can't spend my money on cool stuff, But I'll probably spend some stuff. I don't know what I'm gonna buy, That's what I'm thinking of right now. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna buy. I'm thinking of getting a new PC or getting this PC upgraded because I want to be able to play Cyberpunk and all the other games at an adequate level. But at the same time, that feels like a waste of time and also a risk for my PC because I tried, trying to upgrade my PC. It seems like such a risk sometimes. So maybe I just got to get somebody to help me or something. But I want to upgrade this PC so that it can at least run some games at a decent level. I don't want to play X-Plane 10 on 4K. I'm not trying to get that type of PC. I just want to be able to play modern games at a decent FPS and at a medium to high, or maybe even low, actually now, medium to high graphics level. And also, I've been thinking about getting myself God, this is more so a long-term thing, but I was still thinking about it. But I've calculated the amount I'm going to be paid during this time, and I don't think my budget will make it. But I was thinking about buying a PRS Silver Sky, one of those John Mayer's signature guitar. I was thinking about buying one of those, but goddamn, dude, that shit is so fucking expensive. That's like 4 weeks, I think. In my current salary, or expected salary, that's like 4 weeks of pay. That's half of the time I'm gonna be in that place. So I'm probably gonna hold off on that until I get a more stable job. Yeah, that is gonna be so long, dude. Until I get, hopefully after I graduate. But yeah, that is my dream guitar right now, the PRS Silver Sky. I can settle for a Fender Professional or something like that. Just one of the Fenders, American Fenders. I know the made in Mexico ones are good too, but I want to get myself a Fender ones just because it says American on it. It's more so because I want the the Made in America brand on it than it is in Made in Mexico. But if there's a Made in Mexico secondhand, fuck it, dude, I'll get it. But right now, my dream guitar goes the PRS Silver Sky and then the Fenders. I know I said last year or sometime earlier this year, I think, my dream guitar is a BB King Lucille, one of those ES335, I think. One of those Gibson ES335. I think it's an ES335, isn't it? But one of the trademark Lucille brands, Lucille guitars from Gibson. But right now, I'm more so leaning on John Mayer now because dude, my fucking Spotify Wrapped for this year was literally all John Mayer. Like, let me bring this up. All right, so my most listened to song for 2021 is "Slow Dancing in a Burning Room" by John Mayer. I played it 285 times. 285 times. So if we do that, so 285 divided by 12, I played it an average of 24 times a month, and divide that by 4, 6 times a week. If I'm doing the math right. Am I doing the math right here? I don't even fucking know, dude. But I swear, I've played slow dancing way more than that, dude. I swear. I don't think they're counting right. Yeah, I don't think they're counting right because I have slow dancing in a burning room downloaded in my phone, and I don't think they would count that. They're probably just counting the times I played it while I was connected to the internet. I probably played that song way more times, if that's how it works. And then my top songs for 2021 is of course "Slow Dancing in a Burning Room," number one. Number two is "Gravity" by John Mayer. Number three is "New Light" by John Mayer. Number four is "Stop This Train" by John Mayer. And number five is "Rosie" by John Mayer. Is there a trend here that you're picking up on? Yeah, a lot of John Mayer shit. I've been listening. John Mayer, yeah, I've been listening to a lot of John Mayer. And then, yeah, where the fuck's the part where, oh yeah, okay. And then my top five artists. Let me bring up my Spotify Wrapped here. My top five artists. Number five is Ingrid Michaelson. This is because I've been listening to at the beginning of this year. I listened to her "You and Me," and there was another one. Basically her most popular songs. So Ingrid Michaelson. I haven't really listened to her a lot, but I think this is the playtime that they counted. Number four is Eric Clapton. I think that was more so "Tears in Heaven." I've been playing it to learn it. Number three is Frank Sinatra. I've been listening to a lot of I listen to a lot of Frank Sinatra. You know, when I play with Caleb, I would have Spotify running in the background, and a couple of months ago, you know, I just ran that shit like for the entire month, just a Frank Sinatra playlist. And then BB King, I listen to Lucille. Uh, Gosh, I can't even remember some of BB King's songs, dude. But that guy is so influential, dude. Like that, BB King introduced me to John Mayer, and then of course John Mayer. But BB King, who says he has a lot of songs, dude. I can't list it off the top of my head. And then number one is John Mayer. So that's my Spotify Wrapped. God, I went really sidetracked there. What the fuck was I talking about? Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about, dude. But yeah, that's it. Okay, now we're gonna shift gears here from real life stuff. You know, I'm gonna make sure I don't want to talk about fucking work. I haven't even started working out. I already don't want to talk about work, dude. But goddamn, I'm gonna stick with this shit until I get it because goddamn, goddamn, dude. I can't just yeah. Okay, okay. We're gonna shift gears here from real life stuff to video games, right? We're gonna talk about my top 10 best games. Actually, you know what? Let's not do top 10. Let's do top 5 because top 10 that's a comprehensive list, and I don't think I haven't even prepared a list here. I'm just gonna go off of my head here. But top 5 best games of all time, and then we're gonna talk about other stuff. Okay? So top 5 best games. Let's start with number 5. I okay. I'm kind of game planning this in my head because you know I already have my number one and number two set up, so it's just a matter of what's my top three to number five. Number five would probably be Grand Theft Auto 5. You know, it's an awesome enough game. It's a massive game that's been really successful. But in terms of it being one of my most favorite games, it's not the best, but it's also one of those things where I'll always remember playing it. You know, like if I die in my if I'm dying in my deathbed and there was like a nurse there, right? And they were like, "Hey, have you played Grand Theft Auto 5?" I wouldn't just look at him and be like, "Okay, that's a weird thing to ask." You know, like I'd actually be really surprised that they asked me. You know, it's not one of those things where I easily forget it. So Grand Theft Auto 5 has got to be number 5. Yeah, and you know the story is like infinitely, well, I wouldn't say infinitely replayable, but it's good enough. It's well replay. It's pretty replayable, you know, in my opinion. Like I recently played it a couple months ago, and I enjoyed every second of it. You know, I still like playing it, even though there's not a lot to do in the open world. You know, after you get through a certain stage. So number 5's got to be Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 4. Hmm, number 4. Let me look at my shit actually. I don't know, because most of this is like for me. My criteria for best games is single player, so I'm not really taking into account multiplayer here. Because for me, the times I've enjoyed gaming the most is, or at least it's had an impactful, or it's impacted me a lot, is in single player. You know, I still like playing multiplayer. You know, there's some games there that I really do remember. But in terms of games that have impacted me personally at a personal level, it's mostly single player games. But you know what? For number 4, it's not on. Oh God. Okay, it's a toss up right now, but it's not really games that I would say that were the best games for me, or like one of those nostalgia games. But it's a toss up between Cities Skylines because I spent the last almost 2 years now working on my city there until they capped it because I'm playing on the PS4, and The Forest. That's for the multiplayer portion. I think I'm probably gonna have to go with The Forest here, just because I like the City Skylines, and it's definitely one of those games I will come back to, you know, every now and then. But The Forest, you know, the fun I've had with playing with Caleb in The Forest, that's a lot of fun. And you know, I think I made yeah, my most favorite video that I've ever posted on YouTube was a Forest video, and that video is the ending video, by the way, for The Forest. I don't know what it's called, but it's the episode where Caleb and I we're going through the game's ending, and that was the most fun I've had playing. Honestly, playing a video game with friends, dude. I ain't, yeah, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. That's probably the most fun I've had playing video games. So it was. I remember like us going through. We were, I think we were 18, 19 at the time, and we both didn't have jobs, or at least Caleb wasn't that into a job then, so we could both afford to stay up all night playing video games. That was a fun time. And we stayed up. We were like, okay, oh yeah, I remember like, God, this is all coming back to me now. I remember because, God, dude, that is so fucking weird because nowadays, Caleb and I would play like even when I was back living by myself in university, like we would play around the afternoon all the way to early evening. But for this one, like when we played the ending for the forest, we were he he started playing it around 10 o'clock or 8:30 at night. That's fucking ridiculous. Thinking about it now, I wouldn't even start playing at that time, dude. Like if if I'm back living by myself, and I can actually I don't know why, but I don't like playing with friends at night when I'm living with my parents, because I'm living with my parents right now, during the summer. I don't like playing with friends at night, I like reserving that stuff to single player games, at least right now. But when I'm living by myself, I can afford to play with friends. And I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird. But I just prefer to play stuff by myself, because even then, if I'm living by myself, I still play stuff by myself after Caleb gets stuff. I just like having that little time in the end to play by yourself. Yeah, this sounds so fucking weird. I just said that Caleb gets off, and now I'm saying playing by myself. What the fuck? God, I am fucking 12 years old, dude. But yeah, I like having that little time. Usually, when I'm living by myself, like I don't know, 30 minutes to an hour, I would play City Skylines. Look at my city, see what stuff I can improve on. Look at the traffic, see how I can better improve some stuff. But I like spending an hour or two, basically playing myself till I'm drowsy. But this is a massive, massive fucking derailment. But number four is going to the forest because I had the most fun there. He's okay. Back to the story. He messaged me. I think he said, "Hey Nico, I think sorry I'm late or something, or do you still want to play?" And it was like 8:30 or 10 o'clock. And that sounds fucking ridiculous now, but back then, that was, I would still play at that time. And, we basically played it until it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. So we played it for 5 hours straight, just getting this whole thing done. And damn, that was the most fun I've had playing a video game. Because we've both, I don't, I can't talk for Caleb, but we both haven't played, or I haven't played all the way through the forest. Like I didn't even know it had an ending when we started playing. So like that stuff was it was a very, I don't know what to call it. It's a nice time, very nice time where you're just enjoying video games. Okay, that's number four, right? So number five is Grand Theft Auto 5. Number four is The Forest. With Grand Theft Auto 5, I also had a lot of fun playing that game with friends too. Even back in 2014, I remember doing the heists, and with all the mods. I mean, the modders giving out money to people. That was a very nice time. And then last year, Caleb and I playing, and yeah, just basically killing people. It's a good time, both single player and multiplayer. But number three, God, number three, I'll probably have to say Armo. I'm gonna keep that. Yeah, I'm gonna include two in that, Armor 2 and Armor 3, because that game will always hold a a place in my heart. Like I remember just back in high school, I would just get so pumped making Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead missions. Uh, yeah, that was nice. I can't make missions now though. I don't know why, but I don't have any inspirations to make any Arma missions. I mean, I can do it if I want to, but I just don't have anything. Like it's all been done. Maybe I just need to, I don't know, watch Hacksaw Ridge or some shit. But that's Arma 3 and Arma 2. I can't really say a lot about that. There's not a lot of stuff. Like if you don't know, if you have no idea how to play Arma, you're not gonna have fun playing Arma. If you have no interest slash you have no idea, you're not gonna have a lot of fun playing Arma. But that's number 3, okay? And number 2, fuck. Number 2, okay. I don't know, dude. I don't know. Because these two games I really do like a lot. Hmm. Yeah, okay, number 2, I would have to say. God, which game do I like? I can't put these two games together, man. I can't. Like I love these two games too much to put them together. They're in the same level for me. But if I were to choose now, right now, the way I'm thinking right now, I would have to say, oh God, The Last of Us, and The Last of Us Part Two. So I'm including two for this one too. Honestly, it's a toss-up between this one and the first one. I think you already know what the first one is. Maybe in a couple months when the hype has worn down for me, maybe I'll revert this back to its number one spot. But for right now, this has to be number two for me. Because God, The Last of Us is it's such a great fucking game, dude. Like I remember watching YouTube videos back in 2013, just being amazed. Like everybody was hailing it as one of the best games that was ever made, and it is. Like it's so fucking good for even like it's such a vanilla formula for a video game, and yet it does it so it does it so good. Like technically, story wise, you know, I would still say that Last of Us, the first Last of Us game, is still better than the Last of Us Part Two, but Last of Us Part Two is still really fucking good. You know, but yeah, this game I can play this game whenever, dude. I mean, yeah, I can play this game whenever. This is one of those games where I miss. Oh, that's my dog, by the way. This is one of those games where I immediately miss playing. After I finish, like I remember last year after playing Last of Us Part Two, I was so bummed, dude. And that's when I first started playing uh, City Skylines. It's actually just been a year, not 2 years. I've been playing City Skylines, or 1.5 years rather. But yeah, that's how I got to City Skylines because I finished Last of Us Part Two and I didn't know what the fuck to do with my life. And then the game that takes the number one spot for me, despite all the criticisms of it on release and even right now, it's Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, that game is so fucking good. I've That game is probably the most I've ever put into a story game because my most played game is Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead. And that was because I would AFK in the editor mode or just sit in the editor mode, just grinding out missions. Like you can spend hours in Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead, dude, and Arma 3 just making missions. But this game, Cyberpunk 2077, I've spent a shitload of time in that game. I have like right now I think I have 450 hours. The the last Talking with This Rain episode, I said that I would stop as soon as I hit 150 hours, I think, or 250 hours, 200 hours or something, right? Because I was already done with the game and all that. I was at the Hanako mission then. That's the end. I was like, okay, I gotta hit 150 hours or 200 hours or some shit, whatever the fuck I said, and then I'm done. I'm done with the game. That was last month, and right now, at the time I'm recording this, I just finished the entire game 2 days ago. So I spent a whole month doing side missions, gigs, hustles, and getting it complete, and I've actually completed the entire game 100%. If you go to my Steam profile right now, I've gotten all 44 achievements. And, at the start, when I first bought it back in 2020, I even remember I was doing a Talking with a Strain episode, and the background gameplay was just me walking around in Night City. I didn't really have a good grasp of the game at the time. It was a sci-fi game, everybody was hyping it up, and I thought it was nice. I pre-ordered it, and like everybody, I was very disappointed at the final product. And so I turned it off right before the good parts, and I came back into it this year on my PS4, and I really loved it, and I bought it for my PC, and that's where I made the 450 hours. I have 450 hours in the game, probably even more by the time I post this. And God, that game. Okay, with my achievement playthrough, the thing that took up most of the time was the auto jog and the 10 out of 10 objectives. So the auto jog objective is where you have to buy all the cars that are available to buy in the game, and the 10 out of 10 objective is where you have to achieve level 10 in any skill. And God, for the auto jock achievement, you gotta just grind out the snipers. Personally, after a certain point, because I've already saved up a lot of fucking money, and I kind of regret it, in retrospect, because you only get this achievement once. I kind of rushed it, and I kind of just, after I made like, I think 60% of the price of the money, I cheated. I'm not gonna sit here and act like, I did all this 100%. I mean, I did make up some of the some SUM, by the way, not SOME. Some of the sum for those cars, but I really dislike how I just did it, because I went to Reddit, and a person was just recommended that I just give myself money, and I was like, okay, yeah, I kind of don't want to keep doing this, because what does this really do, right? Like, it's a valid argument, because it doesn't involve any skill. Like, all it does is you just running back and forth the stores, buying the upgrade components, and then selling, and then waiting for them to stock up again, and then selling, and it's very tedious. Like, at one time, I think, like, if I spend 7 hours in the game, or five hours in the game in one day, I would make up, like, I think 200, 300,000 in money. And that's not a lot, because you need 1,800. So that would mean, at that rate, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. That's almost an entire week. And yeah, almost an entire week of just grinding. And it's so frustrating too, because it's not like you just sell it and you just buy stuff. You gotta also you gotta also wait for the stores to stock up on their eddies, as well as their components. So if you teleport to one place and they don't have it, then that's all fucked up. I can see why people would make the case for cheating, and I guess I kind of do like that I did that, because now I can move on with my life after that game. After just doing those, yeah, you know what? I think, I already made most of this sum, so in a way, I kind of deserve that trophy. Not in the sense that, that I earned it bit by bit, brick by brick, but I put in the hours, making up more than half of that sum, and yeah, I guess I'm happy with that. And then for the 10 out of 10 achievement, I fucked up. Alright? I could have easily gotten it. Could have easily fucking gotten it. But I achieved level 50. And I didn't upgrade my crafting. My crafting skill. And so I couldn't achieve 10 out of 10 by mass crafting the Ashura sniper rifles, and selling them. So, yeah, fucked up there. So I had to either punch a bunch of people, because that's the only skill that I had a lot of, was street brawler, which is just punching shit or using blunt weapons, or cheat, and I cheated. I think in this clip you'll see a glimpse of my menu, and you'll see that I have a bunch of levels. I don't use them because I regret using them, and I don't want to fuck up my game. But, I already put in the fucking hard yards, and then I don't like how the game fucking caps it, right? Like if you reach level 50, you should still be able to upgrade. If I was able to upgrade my crafting skills past level 50, I would have did that achievement legit. But they gotta change that shit because as much as I do love Cyberpunk 2077, there were some areas there where that are extremely frustrating, right? Like stuff that they added that just doesn't make sense, like that, like capping the stuff at level 50. Like there's no reason for it. It just limits your your gameplay, and it doesn't really do anything, right? So yeah, if only. But I'm hoping that they get their shit together. I don't know. I want to say that I have confidence in the CD Project Red, but yeah, I'm stuttering. But in another way, like they haven't fixed the problems that that are easily fixed. Like for example, missions not triggering. Like like where it says wait X hours for this person to call. And then you wait that much, you do side missions, and then you get close to finishing the actual game, and they don't call. I'm talking about Pan Am, by the way. I'm talking about Pan Am's missions. That was the one I was most frustrated with. I didn't experience it in the PS4, but when I played in PC, I would wait like literally 16 hours, like actual Steam hours, not 16 Steam hours, which is probably, I don't know, probably 10 hours of gameplay, and then Pan Am would not call, so that just made me fucking frustrated, because if you remember, I simped hard for Pan Am, and I guess I still kind of do. Uh, I still kind of do. But, that just fucking frustrated me. But yeah, they'll probably get their shit together. I guess they kind of, apparently they did. I've never played the game, but apparently they did it with The Witcher 3, and that's one of the most liked games apparently now. So maybe they pull it off, or they just give up and work on another game. Either, yeah, I'm not gonna say either way because I do love the game. I do love Cyberpunk, and I hope they still keep doing what they still keep doing what they're doing, because yeah, I want that game to succeed, and I want to be able to replay it again. So add content and shit. Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna cut this, and for you it will be just a second, but for me it's gonna be, I don't know, a whole day. Hold on. All right, it's been a whole day since I recorded that last part, right? But as I was saying, Cyberpunk 2077, I just want them to get their shit together, right? Because I have like 450 hours in this game now, and I want to be able to keep playing the game. So yeah, I'm hoping that fucking CDPR gets their shit together. I saw that they had a roadmap or something, and they're thinking of releasing some DLCs, and the in a distant future. So hopefully that pans out. That we get some new content, because I really do love that game. Okay, I'm gonna go move on now. All right. Okay. It says you're a Spotify rat, but I already talked about that a couple of minutes ago for you, but for me yesterday. And then I'm just gonna end this. This is gonna be my last. So I'm talking about a book that I read, and then some TV shows. Right. So the last couple of months I've been reading Malcolm X's autobiography, and that's got to be, I haven't read that much books, at least compared to an avid book reader. I read some books in my time when I was a kid, and I didn't have an iPod Touch or a phone. I read some stuff, but recently I haven't read a lot. And technically, this isn't even reading. This is an audiobook, but I listened to an autobiography of Malcolm X that was read by the guy who played Morpheus, I think, and Matrix. Forgot his name. God, I need to remember his name. But I read that book, And God, that is a good book, man. I have to say, like, Malcolm X has to be the most misrepresented characters in the American Civil Rights Movement. Because before I went in, I had my own preconceptions of Malcolm X. Like when I was studying, people brought him up to be some extreme, some extremist, right? Who's just there to divide people. And I guess some people can make the case for him being that figure, but in my opinion, I think it's misguided because I'm not going to go too much into detail, but with Malcolm X, if you don't know, he's a supporter of Pan-Africanism, of just a bunch of stuff to empower the lives of black people in America. And some people, if you're coming into the book from a, I don't know from a, from a standpoint which you wouldn't be sensitive to the stuff he's saying, you might think that he's some really bigoted guy, and you can say you can make the case that he is because coming in, I disagreed with him a lot. I don't think I agree with him on a lot of things as well, but I agree with him with a lot. But that's not to say that I don't support him or his values. It's just that some of the stuff I agree with, and a little there were some parts there where I was like, okay, maybe not stuff. But he's speaking from his own point of view, and that's what's important. But yeah, yeah, I'm in a massive tangent right now. But I read it, and I got a better view of Malcolm X as a person. Especially that final parts where, spoiler alert, where he starts getting shunned by NOI. It was very endearing to hear those last parts. And so, it's kind of shifted my view of Malcolm X as a person as a figure in the American Civil Rights Movement in the 60s, because back in school I've only learned about, Martin Luther King. He's a very pivotal part of the Civil Rights Movement. And this is not to take anything away from people like, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but it's also good to hear other voices in the black community that took part in the American Civil Rights Movement. And Malik Shabazz, Malcolm X, extremely misrepresented in my opinion. I think if you got the slightest bit of wanting to learn more about Malcolm X as a person, I think you should go listen to his autobiography. It's called The Autobiography of Malcolm X, and it's by Malcolm X and Alex Haley, who was I think he was a journalist who helped him write the book, because this book, I believe, was finished right before or something. I'm pretty hazy on the specific details, but it was written somewhere around the time before he got assassinated. So, in that final chapter, I was getting a little bit, I wouldn't say emotional, but I was getting very attentive to what he's saying, because the stuff he says, like throughout the book, he summarizes it perfectly in the end. And then, in the very end, he details the stuff that he wants for the black people of America, and it's very interesting. It's definitely something to look into, because, God, it's a good book, man. That's all I gotta say. I can't give it justice. I can't describe it justice at how it goes. I don't know. I can't describe it adequately. From me, who's, yeah, I can't. You just got to go read it. If you have the slightest bit of interest in Malcolm X, go ahead and read it. Okay. And then lastly, we have where the fuck is my notes? We have my TV shows that I've been watching, right? So lately I've been watching F is for Family, because they had the new season come out, and this is the final season. That's a very good show, man. F is for Family. Written by, well, the only person I know who worked on it was Bill Burr. I think Vince Vaughn also worked on it, but Bill Burr's the main person, the main dude that I know the show. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Bill Burr is the main reason why I started watching the show a couple years ago, and I rewatched it from the start all the way to the end, and it's a very well written show, man. It's not the best show, right? It's not fucking Mad Men, right? But it's still a good show, and I've also been watching Mindhunter, but I have only gotten to like the first couple of episodes. I've already watched it all the way through. Like right now, like with how many episodes there is right now. I watched it all the way through a couple, I think back in 2019, start of 2020. But they've since discontinued the series, and I think they're thinking of bringing it back up again just because of how popular it's getting. I think there's been some rumors, but nothing factual yet, nothing serious. So I'm not too sure yet. But I've been trying to get through some Mindhunter. Haven't been watching it a lot lately, but I have started it. And right now my main show is The Handmaid's Tale. And the here in Australia we don't have the most recent season, I don't think. So I'm up to season. What season is this? Like, The Handmaid's still is a good show, man. It's season 3. It's a good show. I started watching it, I think, over at the start of 2020, and I was just immediately hooked. Like that's a beautifully written show, and I'm in season 3, episode 11 right now. But in the episode before that, which is it's called Heroic. What's that? Season 3, episode 9. That some people I looked online at the episode discussion. Some people didn't like it, but I personally liked it. Like just the way that they broke the fourth wall for that one, and it's not because of some stupid reason, right? Like it's not it's not undeserved, right? Because they broke it because June is feeling this certain way, and like I like how they included like that episode had a bunch of good shots in it and good music in it. I kind of like that show, even though not a lot happened. I still really did like it, and I'm also looking into getting back into Fear the Walking Dead because there is a new season. I'm kind of, I liked Fear the Walking Dead for the first couple of seasons. I tolerated it for during those terrible times. Tolerated it. I didn't mind it at the time just because, I liked the Walking Dead series. I was obsessed with the Walking Dead series. But in retrospect, looking back, those were terrible seasons, and I don't know how the fuck I even went through them. But I went back, but I tolerated it, and I'm looking to getting back into Fear the Walking Dead now because there's a new season, and yeah, apparently there's a massive, massive thing here, a massive uh, plot point for season 7. So I'm hoping that it pans out because God, I like Fear the Walking Dead. Like I like how they kind of stagger it with the original The Walking Dead series. So hopefully it's all right. And I think that's it. That's it for this month's Talking with a Strain. Oh yeah, I've been thinking about this too because you know, having waited a day until recording this second part, I've been thinking about my list of my top 5 best games. I think it top 5 was GTA 5. Number 4 was, oh god, I forgot what number 4 is. Is it City Skylines or something? And number 3 was The Forest, I believe, right? And 2 is Last of Us. Number 1 is Cyberpunk. But I've been thinking I might replace number 4 with Red Dead Redemption, the Red Dead Redemption series, particularly Red Dead Redemption 2, because I completely forgot about that. That game was that game was massive for me. I played the game before and then I pre-ordered it in 2019. No, Red Dead 2 came out 2018. Pre-ordered it in 2018. I saved up my shit and then I played that game fucking non-stop for a whole week, dude. Like I was doing American football at the time, and I had some people there who I would talk to, and they saw the stuff I've been posting on my stories, and they were like, "Oh, I just got to this," and then they asked me, "What are you up to?" And I was like, "Oh, I've already finished the game." Like that, the game took me a whole week to finish, dude. Like a whole week, and that was back in 2018, where my schoolwork wasn't that bad, and I didn't have as much responsibilities or schedule or you know I wasn't that responsible back then. That I could afford to just sit at home. Well, I could. I mean, I can still afford to sit at home and play video games now, but it's not responsible to do that. But I could just sit back there because it was my first year in university. I could afford to sit at home and do shit, and I had all the time in the world, and yet Red Dead Redemption 2 took me a whole week. You know how good of a game that it has to be for one playthrough to take you a whole week. That's crazy, dude. But yeah, I did love that game as well as Days Gone. Days Gone does have a special place in my heart. God. Okay, I might Nah, nah. Days Gone. Days Gone is cool. I have fond memories playing it back in 2019 when I also didn't have responsibilities still. But yeah, yeah, it's not because GTA 5. That's always special to me. The Red Dead Redemption series is always special. The Forest, I like the experiences with it. You know what? I'm gonna clump Days Gone with The Forest just because. Yeah, I'm gonna clump it there just because it's kind of the same thing. Like I like the experience, but it's not one of those games where I'd be rushing to replay like Cyberpunk or The Last of Us Part Two. So top five. Yeah, this is such a scuffed top five, dude. So top five GTA 5. Number four is Red Dead Redemption 2. No, wait. Yeah, but okay, I'm gonna switch it. Top five is Grand Theft Auto 5. Top four is The Forest and Days Gone. Number three is Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2. Number two, top two is what is it again? The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2. And number one is Cyberpunk 2077. Last of Us, the Last of Us series and the Cyberpunk series might change depending on what I'm playing at the moment and just my overall, just what I'm thinking, what I feel like. But right now, that's what it is. And God, CD Project Red, please fucking save Cyberpunk 2077. I, I, you know, I, even now, I've finished the game. I still go back to Cyberpunk and just look at this shit. I miss the times where I actually had something to do. I think my voice is cracked there. I miss the times where I actually had something to do. Because once you have nothing to do, once you finish the final ending, and for me, the canon ending for me is the star ending where you know what, you know what, spoiler alert, okay? There's spoilers here. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go talk about this. I'm gonna go extend this because I want to talk more about this. This is the final Talking with the Strain for 2021. I might as well just extend it. All right, I'm gonna go talk more about Cyberpunk 2077 because I fucking love that game. But for me, the canon ending is this. Spoiler alert, by the way. All right, you've been warned. Okay, spoiler alert for some plot points and endings for Cyberpunk 2077. I don't even know if you're still watching or listening, but spoiler alert if you are still listening. But my favorite ending is, or the ending that I consider canon is a star ending where you, you call up Pan Am and you take on Arasaka, or you go to Mikoshi with the Aldecaldos, and then you escape to Arizona, I believe, or somewhere. You escape Night City. That ending, God, for some reason, like all the other endings don't do much for me except for Temperance, which I'll talk about later. A lot of the endings don't do much for me, but the star ending, it just checks all the boxes for me. Like maybe it's because I I I developed a liking for Pan Am as a character and for V as a character, and I believe you can also bring Judy with you there, but I'm not too sure because I already completed everything. I completed Judy's all stuff, but she wasn't there at the ending, so I don't even know. Maybe that's if you have a female V or something. I'm not sure. But the other endings don't do anything. But that one is it's just perfect for me. Even though that you're still dying, it gives you a sense of hope that like the stuff that Saul, stuff that or wait, yeah, Saul or Rogue, or wait, no, you can't do the ending. Yeah, it's stuff that Saul, Jackie, and V went through weren't just for nothing. Like V gets 6 months to find something or make peace with whatever he's got, make peace with himself and the people around him. So I like that ending, and he gets to go somewhere with my favorite. God, this is such massive. I hope that this doesn't come off as fucking creepy, but it's just because Cyberpunk is still wearing off on me. But he gets off. He gets to escape with the best girl in all of video games, Pan Am, and go with the Aldecaldos to a new place. Like it feels like a new game basically. And honestly, a lot of people were saying are saying that they should. God, I'm not against it. I'm not against CD Project Red expanding on that ending. But for me, I think that ending is perfect. I don't think you necessarily need to change it. I mean, I guess you can add stuff into it, I guess, but I don't know how they would pull that off, to be honest. If they can, props to them, dude. I'll go get their fucking DLCs and play the whole game again. But right now for me, like that ending is perfect. It's leaving me a little bit empty. Just the fact that there's nothing to do after the ending. It's leaving me feeling a little empty. They kind of dropped the ball there, to be honest. Like the fact that once the ending finishes, you just load back to an early save. I don't like that. It makes the game feel really useless because it's a good thing that I actually started that I completed everything, like all my achievements before I did the endings, because right now it just feels so empty. Like even if there were missions I could do, I don't think I would have the wherewithal to complete all of them. I'd complete some, sure, just to get the cyberpunk feel back in my veins again. But that ending just makes you feel so empty that you don't want to play the game again. You just kind of want to you kind of just want to rest, just chill in the game because you don't want to progress the story anymore because it's just that perfect for me. But yeah, the star ending's gotta be best ending just because you get to V still gets 6 months. He still gets to live. He still gets to hopefully find a cure for his condition, and he gets to run off with Aldecaldos and Pan Am Palmer. But we're gonna talk about Temperance ending here. That's my second most favorite. If I were to rank all the endings, I haven't done the secret ending, so I can't talk about that because apparently that's a thing, but I haven't done all the stuff necessary to achieve that ending. But if I were to rank all the endings worst from best to worst, it would have to be the star, run off with Aldecaldos, Temperance. Okay, I'm gonna talk about Temperance. Uh, When I didn't actually expect. I thought that would be like the worst ending, just because for that ending you. Hold on, am I getting this right? Is Temperance the ending where you give Johnny the thing? Hold on a second. CB 2077. Temperance. Temperance associated with being in control. God, what the fuck? Just give me the ending, dude, please. I thought this was just gonna be a fucking quick shit. Now it's because it's saying here Temperance bad ending. How the fuck is that a bad ending? Yeah, yeah, this is not a bad ending. What the fuck? Okay, these people are fucking wild, dude. But yeah, the other reason why the reason why I think Temperance is a good alternative ending to V running off with Pan Am to Arizona, whatever the fuck, is because it's again another thing where he gets a new lease on life, except V is stuck in cyberspace, and now Johnny is taking control of V's body, and which is weird if you just think about it, like you know, but it's I got used to it, because throughout the whole game you get this sense that Johnny's inside your head and all that, and he kind of gets the whole deal. And so, when you get to the Temperance ending, I felt a little bit comfortable, because with all the other endings except for the star ending, V dies in a space station, I believe, in one of the endings. I believe that's. I'm not going to name it, but there's two other endings beside this one. I forgot the names of them. But in one of the endings, V dies as a legend of the afterlife because he goes out to space, and I think I don't know, he does something with a space station. He steals something. He tries to steal something from it, but he dies in that ending. That's implied. It doesn't actually show you, but it's implied that he dies and becomes a hero of the afterlife, legend of the afterlife. Afterlife being, God, my voice is cracked. Afterlife being the bar where all the mercs hang out. See, so that ending is depressing as fuck because he just goes off and dies, and all the people that he made connections with don't know that he died. Like in all this stuff, people still think that he's alive. Like what the fuck's his name? Victor. He's like, oh yeah, get your stuff checked out or some shit, right? Or yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I bet you got good Ripper docs in Afterlife, and And then Judy and Panam were like, "Hey, let's go meet up again. See you later, V," or something like that. Talk to you soon. You know how they always say that. And they don't know that you died, but then you're kind of left in that weird in that weird space before you die. Like that V dies, but everybody in the end is like talking as if you're still alive. So that's kind of sad, right? And the jeez, my voice. And then the other ending where you save Takamura during that raid, and then you go the Arasaka route, right? You do everything that Hanako Arasaka asks of you. You oust his brother, and then his brother turns into her father because she saved Saburo Arasaka's like mind into like Saburo Arasaka is living in cyberspace, and then she puts Saburo Arasaka into her brother's into Yorinobu Arasaka's body, and that's fucking weird, right? And no one likes the fucking corpo, so I don't like the that ending, just because it's corpo centered, like who the fuck gives a shit about him? But also the fact that you get promised all this shit, like you get promised all this by Hanako, and then she takes you to the greatest, or at least what I think to be the greatest medical facility that exists within Earth, or at least around Earth. You get put into the space station where they conduct conduct an operation on you, and as it turns out, they can't do anything about it, and then you're stuck there for I don't know weeks or months with this one woman, with this one doctor who's asking you to conduct a bunch of exercises that you can't do, and in the end Takamura comes in and asks you, they can't do anything, and you have to sign this so that you can get saved, like so that you're so that I think I'm not entirely sure about this, so correct me if I'm wrong if you're still listening. But with the Takamura thing where you sign the waiver or the paper, I think what that means is if you sign it, they can take your memories, like they can take the essence of you, they can take your soul and then put you into another body, and you live on as that other body, but still as yourself. But in the process, you give Arasaka your mind, and I didn't like that. So that's called this is the devil ending, by the way. So for that, what I did was, I just rejected it. I'll just fucking live out the rest of my days, and I guess that's kind of still good, right? You still have 6 months, but or I don't know how many whatever fucking weeks. But I didn't like that one just because, well, one, you don't. There's no sense of hope. Like even if you die in the star ending, at least you have this sense of security, and that even if you do die, you're surrounded by people that who actually care about you, right? Compared to Night City, where nobody gives a shit about you. But with the Aldecaldos, like you have people caring about you, right? You have oh god, what the fuck is his name? Why the fuck am I forgetting all the Aldecaldos' name, dude? You have Mitch, you have Panam, you have Cassidy. Is that his name? Something Cassidy? And you have yeah, you have all these people around you. It's very reassuring, and at least you're around those people. But with this Arasaka ending, where even if you live for another 6 months, you have absolutely nobody. I mean, I guess sure you can still go with the Aldecaldos, but it's still business as usual there, right? You still have Saul governing everything. You still have political. You still have clan politics that Panam has to deal with. So even if you wanted to run off to Arizona with the Aldecaldos, you still can't do that because you still got Saul there, which is Saul is a good character, but God, he can be an asshole, right? At least in my opinion. Or I mean, I guess Panam can be an asshole too. They're both assholes if you think about it. But yeah, I decided to just keep my body for that one and live out the rest of my days. It's pretty disappointing, but I like the Temperance ending as an alternative, just because I feel like it gives your body that's about to die anyways to somebody who will actually live on, right? Because if you give Johnny your body, he can live on the rest of your days. Like he doesn't have a 6 month timer that you have. And so, yeah, I don't know how that works. Like, so V has 6 months left. Does this mean that his body dies, or does Johnny take his body back, or how does that work? Because I'm actually not entirely sure. I think they brought up the fact that, Johnny's still in your body or something, like Johnny's killing you or something like that. So if you're in the star ending and your 6 months is over, does V just automatically turn into Johnny? Or how does that work? I'm not entirely sure how that works. But I think V just dies, right? Like V just completely fucking dies and his body dies. That's what I'm guessing. Because God, if I'm doing the star ending and V just randomly turns into Johnny one day, that would make me so fucking sad, dude. You know? Like V just living out the rest of his days, hopefully in peace with everybody who he cares about. And then suddenly Johnny comes out of nowhere and severs everything. That'd be fucking sad. Which is why I like this Temperance ending, right? Because even though that people still think that you're V, you left them. I don't know. You left it in a good place with some people, right? Like V just leaves, and some people might be a little bit fucked up. Like Misty cares about V this much, and he just goes silent, as well as Panam and all these other people. And then he just goes silent, which is it's kind of sad a little bit, but at least he doesn't drag all those other people with him because Johnny does leave Night City during the Temperance ending. And during that, the epilogue for the Temperance ending has to be my favorite too. Probably it's even better than the Star ending because I like the part where he goes to, well, first that fucking asshole guy, right? Like you live in this apartment in Pacifica, and then you call up this kid and you ask him to drop you off at the bus station. And when you come out and his asshole father is there being like, hey, you can't take him here, and then slaps his kid, and I'm like, oh, hey, I'll pay him, don't worry about it. And then you go to the guitar store. That was so fun, dude. Like I liked the guitar parts in that game. But you go to the guitar store, you pick out a guitar, and the kid thinks that, oh yeah, and before that, God, this is fucking everywhere. Before that, you give the kid some pointers about music. Like throughout that entire episode, you give him pointers. He doesn't know that you're actually Johnny Silverhand. So that makes it a lot better. It makes you feel like Johnny's, I don't know, changed and he's giving back to people as opposed to being a selfish asshole that he was before and arguably after he died. But it's and then you go there and then you leave the kid with a guitar. It's very nice. Like I'm putting myself in that situation. Like what if somebody just gave me a silver sky just to tie this back just to tie this back to my earlier point. What if somebody just gives me what the fuck is it called? It's a silver sky colors. Yeah, I should know the fucking nebula. Yeah, what if somebody comes up to me and gives me a nebula silver sky, right? Like with the and just give me a nebulous silver sky and then just fucking leave. I'd be fucking pumped. And when Johnny left that kid the guitar, I felt like Johnny changed and changed for the better. And it kind of gave me a sense of I really need to stop saying It's getting really annoying in my opinion. But it gave me a sense of Johnny changing for the better and actually doing right by V and the people behind him, people around him. So yeah. But for me, the star ending is still canon. But I can totally understand. If God, I'm saying it again. I'm trying not to say a lot here, but I'm saying it again. But I'm trying to wrap my head around because a lot of people are saying that oh my God, I really need to stop. But a lot of people are saying that they should expand on the endings in the DLCs, but I don't know how they would go about doing that because those endings are pretty conclusive, right? The reason why they don't let you play after the ending, the reason why they reload a save before you begin the ending is because those endings they're fucking everywhere, right? Like one ends in you dying in a space station, the other one ends in you living out the rest of your days in Night City, working for Arasaka or being an Arasaka drone or being fucking something else. The other one, God, the other one you escape Night City, so you don't even get to see Night City. You escape Night City, go to some other place. I think Arizona with the Aldecados. So Night City's already out of the question there. And then the Temperance ending, you're Johnny. You're not even V. And like the Star ending, you also escape Night City. You also get away from Night City. So Night Cities are immediately ruled off there. And I very much doubt that CD Projekt Red would think about creating an entirely new map just for a couple of hours of DLCs. If they could, that's fucking cool. But I don't see them making a DLC that's not situated in Night City or some part of Night City. So if they're, I think they might put some stuff, that might give you better, give you better connection with the people that you connected with. Like in my previous Rain episode, I talked about how it's disappointing how you can't, how after Pan Am's side missions you can't talk to her anymore. So they might add some stuff, some quality of life stuff in terms of that. Like adding the GTA 5 type thing where they can follow you. God, stop saying please, Neko. Like the people, because there's so many people. I can definitely see them adding that stuff where you call them up and then they follow you around and while you do hustles, right? Like River Ward or Carry. Yeah, I don't know how the fuck Carry would be useful there, but River Ward would be useful where they follow you around and just add additional uh, add additional talking options, just like what they did with New Vegas, right? Because in New Vegas, and Fallout 4 generally, you still have some genuine talking stuff with the characters that you, that you have as companions. Because I remember like never running out of stuff to talk about with Boone. Like I mean, sure to a point, it kind of just loops back around, but it's still there. Like it doesn't feel like it ended. I don't know. I can't describe it. But even in GTA 5, there's still some stuff there that they scatter. Like if you call up some characters after the story, they still have some dialogue options that you've never heard of. So it's definitely doable, right, for them to add it that way. But in terms of expanding the story past the endings as a DLC, I don't think they'll be able to do that unless they completely make another character. Like they don't use V. So yeah, that's the only way I can see them making a DLC is either making a new character, playing as playing as another character instead of playing as V, or changing it up like like a prequel before Night City. What does V do? Because that's a lot of plot points there. But honestly, I think they're probably gonna expand on the Perales maybe or something. Because the Perales stuff, there's a lot of stuff there that's still very much unsolved. And I read some stuff on Reddit the other day about people saying how they left that book kind of open for a reason. So even if they go with the Perales route, I'm fucking down for that because that mission is it's fucking ridiculous, dude. It's fucking crazy, and I don't like how we don't get an ending to it because, dude, that is fucking crazy, dude. Like they don't. Okay, spoiler alert again. Like there's people watching him in their own house, and that was such a massive twist. And the fact that apparently Peralez's wife was in on it, and then there's all these bunch of other actors that are in the background. Like, for example, like in the very ending of that Peralez mission, if you look at the balcony to the left, you see Mr. Blue Eyes or something. I think it's something Blue Eyes. That's his name. Just watching over. It's very ominous, and there's a lot of content to be made there. A lot of content to expand from there. So if they go that route, I'm all for it though. But in terms of expanding it, I don't know how V fits into all that honestly. So they might add another character. I I liked V as a character, and I would be down to see him or her. If you made your V a female, I'd be down to see or other. Yeah, I'd be down to see my V in a DLC. but I honestly don't see how he fits into a DLC. But hopefully, they find a way. Or if not, hopefully the new character is just as good, if not better than my V, because I have a special connection with my V now. Like I've played this game in the PS4 and I made my V look exactly the same as my PS4 V, and this guy is my character now. And God, I need to stop. I really need to stop saying. I even made V my Steam profile picture. That's how deep I am in this shit. And hopefully I keep it, because I used to have Joel from The Last of Us as my profile picture, and I had that dude on there for like a whole month. I mean, a whole year. And hopefully, yeah, I hopefully they get their shit together, because I want to play more of Cyberpunk 2077. Even if they don't add anything, hopefully they add some quality of life stuff, because I if they can make this game better than it is now, I'd play it, because there's a lot of stuff there. Like even the way it is, like had the way this. I'm gonna end this soon. All right, so just be patient if you're still listening. But even if they just expand on making the game better as a whole, like the game as it is now, except they make it better, like just embellish the current existing functions and storylines on it, I'm all right with that. I'll definitely replay the game if they add some, for example, like customization options, right? Like being able to change V cyberware colors, or yeah, I heard another cool thing, but the one I've heard a lot is changing V cyberware colors, being able to actually eat food in the vendor stations, as opposed to just it being an invisible thing, and just a bunch of stuff. I'd be happy, and adding, the post story character interactions, or maybe expanding it, because I hate how it just fucking ends. Like even with Judy's, she sends you a couple of pictures, but after that it just fucking ends. And River Ward, I think they added something with River Ward, like they added the photos, I think, after release, because God, that photo is so fucking goofy, dude. Because after River's storyline, he sends you a photo, and it's a photo of him and his nephew and his family together, all happy and shit. And it looked like a fucking 5-year-old just photoshopped some photos together. It looked fucking goofy as hell, dude. But I appreciate the effort. But if these expansions are anything like that photoshopped photo after you finish River Ward storyline, God help this game. Because God, dude, that photo is fucking hilarious. I don't know. I might include it on here on the clips that I'm doing right now. Sometime you'll see it. You'll see the River Ward. You'll see me open my messages. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I hope they do some shit, because I really want to replay this game again. I feel so empty right now, dude. Right now I'm playing Planet Zoo, and I've been enjoying it so much. Like in between massive games that make an impact on me, I usually play building games. Like last year, after playing The Last of Us Part 2, I binged the fuck out of City Skylines. And right now, for me, after Cyberpunk 2077, I've been playing Planet Zoo and Firewatch. I play one day every night, just because of how great it is. It's very predictable now that I've played it twice already, but it's still very nice. And now I'm playing Planet Zoo, and hopefully I don't crash my PC trying to play it, because apparently this game is it needs a lot. But right now it's still running pretty good, better than Cyberpunk, honestly. But yeah, I'm hoping that CD Projekt Red gets their shit together with Cyberpunk 2077, because I want to play that game again. I want to play Cyberpunk again. Okay, that's the end of this month's and this year. All right, this is the very last Talking with Is Rain episode. Last Talking with Is Rain episode for 2021. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm gonna go release a best of Is This Rain for 2021 soon. Time, if I have time, because I got this job going that I'm kind of getting used to right now, right? Like I'm still having some grief about it, but I'm trying to get myself used to it, because I need this shit. I'm trying to get myself used to this shit, right? And it's only for a couple of fucking weeks. It's 9 weeks max. So, I need to stop being a fucking. I need to stop being a pussy about it. Okay. I also God, fucking Reddit, dude. Also, I gotta stop. I gotta stop talking a lot about the job, because sometimes I feel like I put too much too much of my own energy into a job sometimes. Because last year, if you remember, I talked a lot about it in my Talking with a Strain episodes. And it's just a fucking job, dude. It takes up a certain time of your day, and then after that, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And so I needed to start thinking about it that way, as sort of like something that I have to do, and then after that, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I don't know, just something to keep the keep the pressure away, because for the most part, that's where most of my issues with jobs and working as a whole stems from. Is just the fact that I put too much fucking pressure in too much pressure in myself into doing shit. So I gotta keep all this shit in check. And right now, I still have some. I'm still kind of hesitant, but I'll work through it. All right. I'll tell you this. I'll tell you how I'm going in January. And by that time, honestly, by that time, I'm probably yeah. That's fucking crazy, dude. But by that time, I make another Talking with this Rain video, I'm almost halfway, around halfway through. Wait, okay, let's Google this actually. So I'm recording this December 9 right now. So December days to December, I mean January 10, because it's December 10 right now. Or December 9. Days to January 9, right? 1 month later, it's 31 days. That's Why did I have to Google that? I mean, I should have fucking known. It's one fucking month. That's 30 days. And 9 weeks. 9 weeks is God. 9 weeks is 63 days, I believe. So that's half. So by the time I make another Talking with this Rain video, I'm almost halfway through that job, and hopefully that I get to that I suck it the fuck up and actually do well with it. Okay, I'm talking too much. This is going on way too long, right? Cyberpunk, get your shit together. CD Projekt Red, get your shit together, please. I want to play this game more. Okay, I'll see you guys next month, and I hope you have a great day. Stay safe, and I'll see you another day. All right. I hope you enjoy the best of Is Rain video that I will release soon. Okay. All right. See you guys later. Goodbye. Stay safe. Don't be a racist fuckhead. Okay. Goodbye.